Commander Cookout Podcast, episode 379. I'm Brando. I'm here with Ryan, and we're going to keep talking about Lord of the Rings, but coming full circle with a theme deck. Now, hit our theme song! Hey, Ryan. We're back for yet another whirlwind adventure. How you doing?
Good. What is going down?
Whole tons going down. It's the same day as yesterday, but today still for us, so not a whole lot new has happened. It's a beautiful day in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada, where we live today. It's the fourth longest day of the year as we sit here recording.
Yep.
A la the summer solstice. We've got a really great deck to talk about, but before we get to any of that exciting stuff, we have to thank our official business, Daddy's Fusion Gaming Online.com. Your source for all your gaming needs.
Very much so. We're doing a deck today, classic Decktech of old, if you will, coming full circle, doing the full hoop, giving the ringer reach around to theme decks.
Correct.
If you want to pick up any of the cards, if you want to pick up what we think could be the start of this deck in the Hobbit Precon that we talked about yesterday, you can use CCO Summer promo code at FusionGamingOnline.com at checkout. It'll save you 5%. That's a good deal. Lets everybody at Fusion know that the boys at CCO sent you. You're going to save some money. You're going to buy it anyways. You might as well spend less.
Correct.
Works on
every level.
Works on every level. I always forget. Works on sealed, singles, gaming supplies, non-magic stuff, board games, store-wide. You want it, you can pay less for it.
And I love paying less for stuff.
I don't know if it works on gift cards, but
that would
just buy yourself real magic cards.
That'd be weird, hey? If you could pay $90 for $100 and then use that $100 to pay for $110 and then just keep trading up with your gift cards, buying more gift cards. That's why you can't use promo codes on gift cards. We cracked the code, man.
That's what I was going to say. When you use the gift card is when you get the discount.
Oh, yeah.
When you use it, but not when you exchange real money for it.
Yes. Because that would be terrible, as the loop that we just went into illustrated.
Yes. The point is you can get gift cards there, too.
Yeah, man, I wish I had cracked that code before somebody else had, and then I just stood there at the counter just exchanging gift cards with the cashier until she realized what was going on.
CCO Summer. CCO Summer. CCO Summer. You just have to say that word.
And the person would be like, oh, my God. How high are you going to go, Brando? I was like, yes.
That's how it works at oil change places. Hey, do you guys got any coupons? Yeah, we just need you to show us the coupon on your phone. Okay, what's your website? GreatCanadianOilChange.ca. It's like Michael's, hey? When you go to get craft stuff at Michael's?
Yeah.
Here's the coupon on my phone. I'm going to pay less for one item. Raises the question, what is the item actually worth to you if you just give it away for less money?
Yes.
I'm going to stop shopping here because you're taking me for some kind of buffoon.
That's perfect. That was like me coming out of you.
Yes.
So cynical. I love it.
That's why I buy all my art supplies locally at Hughes Art Supply.
Yeah, it's right up the street, kind of.
It's
like around the corner up the street.
Yeah.
But it's a great place, and the lady is very nice, even if she doesn't stock glow-in-the-dark paint.
Oh, yeah.
Because she's not a child craft store. She's a serious
You got to go to Michael's
dealer.
and pay more and then pay less.
That's right. Thankfully, I can use one little tube of paint. Lasts me for years.
Oh, man, I wish I had that problem.
Yeah, right?
Got to buy it in drums. Okay, so we got this deck. We got this deck. Big thanks to Editor Joe for doing the second episode of the week, and it's a deck tech, so he's got to load more cards in. We appreciate him very much.
What does Editor Joe edit stuff for? YouTube, which is where you should be watching it, because he works really hard.
Yes. You know how many people I meet in real life at like Command Fest Edmonton last week, Vegas, we'll talk about that in a sec, that say, sorry, I listen while I'm at work. Yeah. They let me use headphones, or I drive lots, so I can't watch. I'm like, it's fine, but you should watch. You should watch. You opened a lot of the cards we're going to talk about today on the latest Brando's box opening.
Sure did.
On the CCO YouTube channel, which is another reason to watch and subscribe.
Uh-huh.
Today, we're doing Jenny McCarthy's brother's deck.
That's Scab Man on Moxfield.
Yes.
Scab Man.
Skibby-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
That's Scat Man.
I'm the Scab Man.
Oh, Scat Man. It's a
Sure.
scat man. Come on, would I go to that if it was? Yes, I would. But I'm telling you, it's the real thing. I'm telling you.
Yes. So big thanks to Colton for sending it in. That's his real name. We've got a new patron though since like yesterday.
Okay.
And really he's an increase, and he said he's trying out a new name.
What?
I guess you could just change your name like in real life.
Okay.
I guess people do that when they get married.
I suppose so.
Yeah.
All right.
So my mom used to always tell me,
Uh-huh.
like, it's hard because every kid at one point in their life says, I hate my name. I wish I was like Mighty Max and my name was Max. That was mine.
I never said that.
You never said that?
No.
Probably did.
Did?
You probably wish your name was Bilbo instead of Brando.
Oh, that is 100% not true.
That's a good change though.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy.
It's easy,
It'd be
yeah.
easy to remember for sure.
Yeah. So anyways, my mom used to say, no, well, it's hard to change your name. There's like lots of legal papers. You got to apply to the government, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, what about when people get married and change their last name? This is 7-year-old me trying to be smarter than my mom.
Right.
And I was for like 1 second there. And she's like, no, last names are easy because the government knows when you get married, you change your name.
Sure.
It's hard to change your first name. I'm
Okay.
like, oh, I guess it's just hard to change your first name.
Sure.
So that's what this guy did.
Okay.
It's what this guy did. And now he says he's Barry K. Now, his nickname used to be Mary K. But now I want his nickname to be a Prince reference. And I don't even know if I can say it right. But he's Raspberry Bouquet instead of Raspberry Beret. I don't know how to spell it, but his new nickname, Raspberry Bouquet. Yes.
If you're watching on YouTube, you can see.
The Prince fans are going to know.
Yes, yeah, I am
Prince
not.
fans.
So I don't.
Do they play Prince on the rock station here? Not very much.
Not
eh?
very much. We played Purple Rain.
Yeah, that's the only one. And you cut off like the last 2 minutes of it, so you don't even hear the big guitar solo.
Yeah, and
Which is the craps.
The Prince that I know is like the wrestler who pretended he was Prince, and he had the Purple Rainmaker elbow and all that stuff.
I want to get a Purple Rainmaker.
Right? Like,
not right now.
Like, that's a thing. But, I mean, that's my exposure to Prince. Oh, and he did the Batman soundtrack for the original Batman movie with Michael Keaton. Not the original. You know what I mean. Everybody gets what I'm saying. Lots of Prince.
I thought
in
Danny
there.
Elfman did the soundtrack for that.
Well, like the original compositions, but all of the licensed stuff was Prince. There's lots of Prince songs in there.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, it was real cool.
Okay, cool. I never knew that. Yeah. I know that Prince is my favorite and a lot of people's favorite Super Bowl halftime show ever. Super Bowl 42, I think.
Real Prince or hologram Prince?
Real Prince.
Okay. My favorite one was the one with the guys in the shark suit.
That's Katy Perry.
I think. I didn't really like the show that much, but I really liked the guy in the shark suit.
Oh, man. This guy could be Katy Perry.
Take your pick, buddy. Take your pick, and happy to have
pick.
you here. That's great.
Katy Perry. Okay. So we've got a couple minutes here.
Okay.
I want to remind everybody, CCO Experience Las Vegas planning coming up. I know I just talked about it yesterday, but I'm going to get people after I say it's full because I always do.
Mm-hmm.
Frickin' Magic players and their goddamn procrastinating.
Yeah, don't.
Just don't. If you want to come, if you're thinking about coming, even if you're like, I don't know if I can afford it, it's too soon, I'm getting whatever. Whatever it is, I don't care what the excuse is. If you're interested, let me know. I'll put your name down. So then if we are looking for the last person, I'll contact you and ask. Yeah. Don't ask me like a week before, hey, is there any bed? I'll sleep on the floor. No, you won't. No, you won't. I don't want to do it like that.
Yeah.
So get after me now. Don't procrastinate.
Yes. It's the best way to go. I'm telling you.
CommanderCookout@gmail.com, at CCO Podcast on Twitter, or at CCO Brando, but he'll tell you to contact me.
That's right.
Patreon Messenger, Facebook Messenger, Discord. Like, you've got all these ways to reach out and get in touch with me about CCO Experience. If you want to come, if you're going to be in Vegas, if you're already planning on being there, if you're a Patreon supporter, I want to personally thank you with free stuff and prizes and a place to sleep and food and drinks.
And a fantastic time.
But you have to let me know.
Yeah. And even if you're not going to stay with us and you're going to be there, let us know that too.
Oh, yeah. We've got a couple of those already. We're definitely taking over a patio or a place or an area, and we will make CCO Nation happen.
Just like we did last year. Man, I hope there's tables outside and the weather's nice and we can just hang out outside and drink beer and play Magic in the sun, because that was so cool.
When was it last year? May?
May.
Are you sure?
No, it was in the fall. It was in the fall. So
It was in October. It was Halloween. It was
October.
the day before Halloween.
Yeah. It was so much fun.
It's gonna be September. It's gonna be hotter than the devil's anus.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be so hot.
Oh, and I'm just going to be laying on a rock.
And drier than usual because the summer humidity, if Vegas even has that, is gonna be gone.
You're not even not selling me on it. You're selling me even more on being outside.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
You know what I'll do?
Lots of sweaty people that play Magic don't want to be outside, eh?
Well, maybe they do.
Maybe there'll be like a rooftop bar again we can go to.
Maybe there'll be a rooftop bar that we can actually go to. Oh, shit. Business baby is nasty today.
Ooh. Let's move over to the deck, sir.
Yes.
Who are we doing? Let's read it before we get off there.
Okay. Farmer Cotton.
Farmer Mother Ass Cotton.
Now,
not to be confused with Farmer Maggot, different guys.
Yeah, see, I made that mistake.
Yeah.
Farmer Cotton, I learned from Ryan a minute ago before we started recording, is Sam's father-in-law, because he is Rosie's dad. There we go.
He marries Rosie. He's not, like, when the Scouring of the Shire happens, he's not Sam's father-in-law. But at the end of the book, they get married and have, like, 13 frickin' kids. Samwise is not only the champion of the frickin' story,
also the champion of, like...
champion in the bed. Whoa.
Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, you see what I did there.
Yeah.
Now, Farmer Cotton is a 1/1 for Celestia and X. That's green and white for those of you who aren't paying attention. When Farmer Cotton enters the battlefield, create X 1/1 white halfling creature tokens, and you do both X food. Wow.
Ooh.
That's good. That is cool. I liked it. Now, let's do some lore stuff. You love lore stuff. Why is Farmer Cotton the leader here? Why is he the general? Is it just for the mechanics of the deck that we're going to do today? Or in the story, was he the one that led the militia?
Yes. Okay.
Is it yes to both things?
You do that to me all the time.
I sure do.
Okay, so movie first or movie only people are not going to really be familiar with this, other than
Correct.
Rosie and Cotton and Sam getting married and pounding a bunch of kids out.
Yes.
Ooh, don't Google that.
Yeah.
Farmer Cotton's her dad, and each of the hobbits, when they come back, or sorry, not Frodo, but Merry, Pippin, and Sam all go somewhere to like rouse the Shire because it's been taken over by ruffians from the south as led by Sauron in the guise of Sharky. And they were infiltrated prior to that by other hobbits like Lotho Sackville Baggins. That's like Frodo's cousin or whatever.
Scumbag.
Yeah, he's scumming the Miller, Ted Sandyman, and they sell out and they sell the Shire to Sharky essentially.
Yeah. Sharky being Saruman, who didn't fall down and get impaled on a wheel. And
What
then
a scene though, eh?
Man, that should have been it. That should have been it. Like, what a waste. Oh, no. Twist for twist's sake.
Yeah.
Damn it.
So Farmer Cotton's house, because he's got a couple sons, are where Sam goes. You got to remember the social status of the hobbits is very disparate. Sam is a gardener and is a peasant. And
Yes.
and Farmer Cotton, same thing. He's a farmer, he's a peasant. That's where Sam goes. Merry and Pippin like go and raise like Brandy Hall because he's like heir to the master of Brandy Hall. He's nobility almost in the Shire.
Sure.
And Pippin goes south to Tuckland or Tuckborough,
Yeah.
Tuckland, and goes and musters the Shire because his dad is the Thane, and he's heir to the Thaneship of the Shire, which essentially controls the Shire muster.
So he's a king, kind of.
Sort of. The Thane is the person who's in charge of the Shire military, if you can call it that.
Yeah.
So Merry and Pippin go and get the smoke, right? And freaking Sam goes and is like, "Hey, Farmer Cotton and your boys, bring your pitchforks. We're gonna fight.
We're going to do battle."
So that's like there's no Merry like savior of the Shire or Sam savior of the Shire or Pippin or like the Thane of I mean there's the one guy that we are playing, but Farmer Cotton is really one of the guys that's out there at the fire in front of the Green Dragon after curfew, and the ruffians show up and they say, "If you come into this circle, we're gonna frickin' kill you," and that's exactly what happens. Yeah. So Farmer Cotton, even in his flavor text, I've been itching for this trouble all this year.
There you go.
Itching for trouble all this year.
I love to hear it.
So let's flip over to cards, and then we're gonna get into the deck.
Let us do that. Where'd you like to start, Ryan?
Okay, breaking the Brandywine Bridge gate, and I don't remember if they break it. I think they climb it. They threaten to climb it, and then they just get let in. I think.
Huh.
This is when the 4 hobbits get back to the Shire and find a gate there. And there didn't used to be one, now there is.
Yeah.
The gate, in this case, or the breaking of the gate, Aura Shards.
Very good.
Oh man, this card with Farmer Cotton.
Oh man.
Because whenever a creature comes into play under your control, destroy an artifact or enchantment.
You eradicate them.
Farmer Cotton brings in X dudes, and they just smash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just beat wholesale
So
assets.
that's a really good one. I like that one.
Agreed. Let's get the ramp out of the way also.
Okay, yeah, let's do ramp. We should have started with this like we always do.
Well, normally we just smash right through it, but there's some pretty cool stuff in here.
Well, ramp in this case is still represented by hobbits or Lord of the Rings specific cards, like how you can choose the versions that you're playing in your deck. Very important for a theme deck.
Yes.
To choose the correct, I guess, version of your card, right?
And we're not fucking around because we start with Delighted Halfling. Delighted Halfling is a 1/2 for 1. It taps to add a colorless or add a mana of any color. Spend this mana only to cast a legendary spell, and that spell can't be countered. Notice it says legendary spell, not creature, so you could play legendary enchantments or artifacts or
Instance,
sorceries.
now we have that.
Right? Like, holy, this guy's real good.
This makes it so when you have Farmer Cotton and Aura Shards and you use one of the mana that can't be countered, you're getting all the artifacts and enchantments. You're getting all of them.
Every single
You
could also use it to play Jahaira, Friend of the Forest.
Yeah, sure. This one isn't very thematic, but it is good. Tokens you control have tap, add green.
So now your foods are mana dorks.
Oh, that's really good.
That's not bad at all.
This could maybe be an elf from the forest that they meet, like in the Old Forest at the start of the book.
Yeah.
Or before they get to the Old Forest, I should say.
As far as kind of standard fare stuff, we have a Rampant Growth, we have a Cultivate, and we have a Sol Ring.
Yep.
Obviously.
Inspiring Statuary, which gives your artifacts improvise, which again kind of turns your foods into mana.
It gives you your non-artifacts improvise.
Oh.
So you can tap your artifacts to make your non-artifacts cost less. That's another thing that makes your food become mana dorks.
Yes. I knew that's what it did. And then we've got a Cryptolith Rite. Creatures you control have tap, add any mana.
I feel like that could be switched out for the new Cryptolith Rite. It's the one from the Lord of the Rings, costs 4, Elvish something.
Elvish Chorus?
Yes.
Elvish, is that it?
Yeah, that's the one. It's green 3. You can look at the top card of your library. Already makes it the best card in the whole set. You can play creatures from the top of your library.
Oh, it's pretty good.
And your creatures tap for mana.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Like it's just
that and this. I guess they exponentially increase because you're doubling and doubling and doubling every time you if you can bounce your Farmer Cotton.
Yes.
Or if he dies and you just cast him again because you got like 700 guys. Yeah. So then we've got an Entish Restoration, which is sack a land. This is an instant. Sack a land, search your library for up to 2 basics, put them onto the battlefield tapped. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, instead search your library for 3 basics. That's pretty dang good. That's an instant. That's going into Calamax.
That's very good.
That's good, yeah. Then we've got Prize Pig. I think this is F.U. Aiden's favorite card from the set.
Probably is.
0-3 Boar for green 1. It might be T. Coates' favorite one too because it's a pig.
Yeah.
Whenever you gain life, which is going to be awesome, or often, put that many ribbon counters on Prize. I forgot that it said that. Oh, so you gain life, you put that many ribbon counters on Prize Pig. Then if there are 3 or more ribbon counters on Prize Pig, remove those counters and untap it. And you can tap it to add 1 mana of any color. Kind of feels like Runaway Steamkin, hey?
Sort of, yeah.
Sort of. If I'm doing the food thing, I'm going to gain life, put counters, remove, untap. Like each food untaps this guy, right?
Yeah.
Whenever you put that many, so 3... If I feed it, it untaps.
Yes.
Feed it, it untaps.
Correct.
Okay, that works.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That plays.
I know what would have been cool if Prize Pig was also a food.
Oh, yeah.
I think that would have been neat. That would have been cool.
Yeah, that would have been good.
We're playing a Gilded Goose.
Yep.
I wanted to mention it again because it's one of my favorite arts in the whole set. I love that picture. I would like it on a shirt or a print or a playmat. I love it. Next card, Eleanor Gardner.
This is Sam's daughter.
Why is she not a baby?
This must take place after the fact.
Well, so you're telling me that things that happen after the fact, after Lord of the Rings, can be included in Lord of the Rings, but Smaug cannot be? Continue.
She's a 2/4 halfling scout for green 3. Enters the battlefield, get a food. At the beginning of your end step, if you sacrificed a food this turn, search your library for a basic, put it under the battlefield, tapped and shove.
I like that.
That's actually good. A little bit slow, but fine. Should have been an uncommon.
Wand of the World Soul.
Yeah, this one kind of... This card is good. It was on one of my previous top 5s, I think, or an honorable mention, but it doesn't fit really. Anyways... white 2 artifact, enters the battlefield, taps for white, that's fine. The next spell you cast this turn has Convoke, which means you can tap your creatures to help pay the mana cost of it.
I think that this does fit, as hobbits, as I understand them at least, are very community-minded fellows. And so when you tap them, they are helping to do something as a group, as a community. They're coming together to do a thing, to achieve a goal, to accomplish a mission.
Yes. The other reason is this acts as Cryptolith Right 2. So
Yes.
you can pay all your current creatures into Farmer Cotton, and he shows up and he just frickin' ganks.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is also correct. Yes. Let's do some quick removal. The Battle Pit, if you will. What's the Battle Pit?
The Battle Pit, I was going to save the Battle Pit till near the end, but we can do it now.
That's just removal.
The Battle Pit is removal, yeah. This is actually where the ruffians that get killed in the Battle of Bywater, this is where they get buried.
Good.
Yeah.
Heck 'em.
So give those a read, because I think they're mostly generic, aren't they?
I think so, yeah. There's Dusk to Dawn. That's a destroy all creatures with power 3 or greater, so it'll probably miss most of our dudes. Then it has Dawn, which returns all creature cards with power 2 or less from your graveyard to your hand.
Oh, wait a frickin' second. Did they have a Scoured Shire and then the Restored Shire on Dusk Till Dawn? They did.
Yeah.
Oh, I just got a chill.
That's good,
I
right?
didn't notice that before.
There you go.
Oh, that's not generic. It's a perfect flavor fit because it does exactly what this deck is doing.
Because they're all from all of these cards are from the pre-con or from the main set.
I know, but this one's perfecter.
Yes. We have Fell the Mighty, destroy
Kills a
all
big creature.
Kills big creatures. Hour of Reckoning kills a bunch of creatures. There aren't tokens. Swords to Plowshares is Swords to Plowshares. Path to Exile, Beast Within, and then the Battle of Baywater.
Bywater.
Bywater.
Because it's beside the water. It's by the water.
Of course.
That's how they name shit.
Bag end? Is it to the end of a bag?
It's the end of Bagshot Row. And it's under the hill. And that's why he calls himself Mr. Underhill.
Oh, Jesus. My God. White 1, destroy all creatures, power 3 or greater, then create a food token for each creature you still control. It is you control, but like that you control after you've wiped the board.
It's pretty good.
So you have a bunch of little dudes, you make a bunch of little foods. Pretty cool.
Man, I wish that was an instant.
Yeah, that'd be too good as an instant.
Yeah, I got another one for you.
Okay.
There's a giant stone in the Shire that divides 3 of the 4 farthings.
Sure.
Do you know what the stone is called?
Why would I know that?
It's called the 3 farthing stone.
Oh, get the fuck out of here. Let's just talk about these untagged creatures, okay?
Okay, yeah, these guys, what are they even doing?
Nimble Hobbit.
Nimble Hobby. When it attacks, you can sacrifice a food or pay white 2. When you do, target creature and opponent controls, you tap it. Oh, it's the tapper.
Yes.
That's fine.
And Shire Sheriff.
Look at, he's just doing like a flying ninja kick. Who does he think he is? Like Jean-Claude Van Damme?
More, yeah, that's a Van Damme move for sure. Maybe a Chuck Norris move.
Man, how do I fit Hobbit or Chuck Norris and Van Damme together into like a funny pun? I can't think of it right off the top. And then Shire Sheriff is a vigilant 2/2 for 2. Look, he's got an orc all wrapped up. Anyways, when Shire Sheriff enters the battlefield, sacrifice a token. That could be a food or a creature. When you do, exile target creature and opponent controls until Shire Sheriff leaves the battlefield.
What is this Sheriff?
That's welcome to Tolkien.
Man.
He spells words weird.
Get the fuck out of here.
Okay, let's move to happier times.
Okay.
Second brekkie.
Second breakfast. These are things that are going to double other things that we're doing.
I will take full credit for the naming of this category as well.
Okay.
Because Colton came to me and he's like, hey, check out this deck. I was like, hey, I will.
This also could be called Second Mortgage. Because
Yes.
it's also the most expensive part of the deck. We're playing a doubling season. Doubles counters and tokens, parallel lives, doubles tokens, anointed procession, doubles tokens, Mondrak Glory Dominus, doubles tokens, second harvest. It's an instant that doubles the number of tokens you have in the battlefield.
That's an instant, mind you.
Yes, it is.
It's an instant.
Because why wouldn't it be? And a Panharmonicon, which doubles ETBs.
Yes, in particular, Farmer Cotton's token ETB.
Yes.
It would double that. So if you have that and any of these other cards, you have quadruple tokens.
Yes.
Yes.
Goodness
Lots
gracious.
of torches and pitchforks.
Holy shit. Should we talk about Sharky too? Should we just?
I suppose.
He's in between the two categories you talked about. Sharky is represented by the Smothering Tithe.
Yes, he is the bad guy, and everybody hates playing against this card. So it's aptly named the bad guy name.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot.
And it's token, and you were playing the double token things, right?
We sure are.
So this is fine.
Double Treasure.
Double treasure.
Get greedy. Where should we go next, Ryan?
Okay. I don't know how this one fits either, but the category is meat's back on the menu, boys. And this is your Ashnod's Altar, Food Chain, Kark Clan Ironworks, and Phyrexian Altar. Those sacrifice the ample tokens that we'll have, whether they be creatures or artifacts or both, and give us some amount of mana, colorless and or colored, to thereby cast more things like our Farmer Cotton.
Yes.
Again.
Yes.
Again.
Yes. You can certainly use these cards in, I don't want to say in any combination, but in, if you have one or two of them. If you've got a Phyrexian Altar and a Kark Clan Ironworks, you also have infinite dudes.
Oh, yeah, and we're a little bit out of story order here, but there's a returning with more reinforcements.
Yes.
This is when Merry and Pippin leave after they figure out how bad stuff is, and they come back with, like I said, the smoke. The smoke in this case, Cloudstone Curio. So when you cast your Farmer Cotton and make double tokens that you can sacrifice to
An altar of some kind.
an altar of some kind, you can recast them again. You bounce them.
Yep.
Sorry, you cast them, you bounce something else, sacrifice token, recast that thing like a Gilded Goose.
Yep.
And then you can bounce your Farmer Cotton and cast him again for X. And every time you're making X plus X, because you're doubling your tokens.
Yes.
Because Cloudstone Curio, Elistar, the Elf Stone in this case, it's a box topper, lets you bounce a creature when you cast a creature.
It's also foil in the list, so I'm going to assume that's the one that he has. Congratulations on your good hit on your box topper.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's pretty dope.
The other returning with reinforcements is Mary, Warden of Isengard.
Yep.
Mentioned it a little bit yesterday, but we'll read it full here. 1/4 Halfling Advisor for one green white. He partners with Pippin, which we could play or not.
No, we can't because that.
Oh
one
no,
is,
we can't.
That
It's
one's
got black in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever one or more artifacts enters the battlefield under your control, you create a 1/1 white soldier creature token with lifelink, but it only triggers once each turn.
That sucks. He's here for flavor purposes and flavor purposes only.
Yeah, if you make one food, he'll double it with a halfling.
Yeah.
That's okay if we're into making food.
And he'll do it once.
Gilded Goose gives you food, right?
Yeah.
There's a few things that make us just like a food, right?
Yes.
Which
Food-
is fine.
Incidental food plus dude, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Fine.
Food plus dude. That's what this deck is called.
for dude.
For dude.
Yes. Do we talk about rebuilding the Shire now? 'Cause it's right here.
Not before we raise it.
Not before we raise it. Okay.
This is another one of my naming categories
Now,
here.
when they say raise the Shire, it's not raise as in RAZE, as in they burn it to the ground. It's
Correct.
raise it as in you have to rise up against
Yes.
Sharky and his homies.
Yes.
Yes, that's important to note.
It's kind of an ironic play on words, though, isn't it? Because
Yes.
usually when you raise something, it is burn it to the ground.
Yes. Especially in this kind of fanciful fantasy setting.
Yes, and we're going to flip that on its head, though, and say, no, we're actually going to lift it up. We're going to lift it out of the mud and make it good again.
And then we're going to raise some other suckers.
We're going to raise, the frickin' guys that raised it.
Yes. All right.
Raiseception.
Let's start with Saradoc, Master of Buttland.
Buttland.
Oh, I got him.
2/4 for 4 Halfling Citizen. When Saradoc, Master of Buttland, or another non-token creature with power 2 or less enters the battlefield under your control, you create a 1/1 white Halfling creature token. Also, tap 2 other untapped Halflings you control. Saradoc gets +2/+0 and gains lifelink until end of turn. So if we got other little hobbits, we can give this guy, maybe we can make him a 4/4 lifelink.
And this is Mary's dad?
He's the Master of Buckland, so he must be Mary's dad. I don't remember exactly, or if this is the original Master of Buckland.
Sounds like it should be Mary's dad. What's the next thing? Banquet guests.
Banquet guest.
Banquet guest.
This is a good one. You give this one a read.
It's a 0/0 for the same casting cost as our commanders, Celestia and X. Affinity for food, which means you cost 1 less to cast for each food you have.
That's actually really good.
That's incredibly good. Trample, and Banquet Guest enters the battlefield with, get this, twice X +1/+1 counters on it.
Oh, baby.
And mind you, there's more. 2 sack a single food, indestructible until end of turn. So this thing is going to beat face with a stick.
Yes.
It will slap lips into the dirt and then stomp dinks into the same dirt. You go Farmer Cotton, pay 2 Banquet Guests for whatever X was before. It's going to get twice that big, and then you're going to kill someone with it.
Yes.
You're going to hang them out to dry and beat them with a stick.
This guy balls.
Oh, yeah. Balls out of control. I like Banquet Guests a lot.
Yeah. Saradoc can confirm Mary's dad.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Next up, Champion of Lambhold.
Kind of the same thing that you just said.
Yeah, also will ball out of control and makes it so your creatures can't get blocked.
Yes.
And is a giant.
Also, yes.
Oh.
Speaking of giants.
Cathar's Crusade.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Let's say I've got 5 or 6 guys. Just who cares who they are?
Yes.
And then I cast Farmer Cotton for 10.
Yeah.
Now all my 5 guys that are 1/1s,
Yeah.
they're all frickin'
11/11s. Yeah.
Take 100. Nah, take 60.
Yeah. Die.
Take 55.
Yeah. Die.
Yeah, what you said.
Yes, we will kill you.
Yes.
Now, I'm gonna go out on a limb here.
But also, this last card, that same example, I got 5 guys, Farmer Cotton for 10.
Yep.
Now you die because
Yes.
Concordant Crossroads, all creatures have haste.
Now, Concordant Crossroads, all creatures have haste. You talked about the Buckland Stone. That could be, or the
3 farthing
the
stone.
3 farthing stone. That could be the Concordant Crossroads of which we are speaking.
All 4 farthings of the Shire coming together to stomp some dinks into the dirt.
Very flavorful.
Yes, I like that. It's good catch.
I
Good catch.
like that lots. I am going to say, as a deck piece,
Yeah.
I think I would rather see an Akroma's Memorial in here because we have the mana for it. And
Did we get an Akroma's Memorial box topper? We didn't.
no, we didn't. Unfortunately, there is no Akroma's Memorial analog.
You almost said proxy.
I did.
Analog is a better term because proxy already has a meaning in people's minds.
Yes, I think Akroma's Memorial would just be like a better game piece in this situation because your dudes are all very small, and if you don't win the turn you play it,
Gives them haste, pro red, pro black.
flying trample, haste, first strike, pro black, pro red.
It's a better card if you want to spend 5 mana on it, which maybe you
7.
do, maybe you don't. 7. Maybe
7.
you do, maybe you don't. This one is thematically better.
Yes.
And I don't know.
And that's the difference between a theme deck and a deck. Because this mana,
I
1
don't know,
mana,
yeah.
sure, 7 mana, we can do it.
I don't know. This deck could, yeah. I don't know if giving hobbits flying is what you want to do.
Definitely what you want to do. 100%. Because how are they flying? Do they build little hobbit airplanes? Are they launching themselves out of trebuchets like the goblins were?
Oh, man.
Right? How are they flying? Who cares? It's awesome. Did they eat lots of really bad Taco Bell and they're just going over the wall? They're
All the
ass blasting like in Tremors?
All the Tolkien like purists are like, oh my god, these guys, they just say hobbits can fly.
Yeah. Because it's magic.
Because it's magic.
That's
Welcome
right.
to CCO Nation.
Exactly.
We've raised the Shire. We've ground and pounded. We've fooded. Have we fooded?
We haven't fooded yet.
Oh, well, let's have a meal after we raise the Shire.
Yes,
and
let us
then we
food.
will rebuild the Shire.
Okay.
And at Farmer Cotton's house. these are, and after we call to arms.
We're going to wait. What's the call to arms?
That's another category.
Oh man,
Jesus Christ!
These are just drawing cards, though. This is easy enough.
Okay, call to arms. Cultivate, Trail of Crumbs, Mentor of the Meek. What is this? Camaraderie, Shamanic Revelation, Well of Lost Dreams, the Mother Ass Gaffer. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain 3 or more life this turn, draw a card. That's a good one. Last March of the Ent. This card is the real deal.
Yes.
This it can't be countered. Draw cards equal to the greatest toughness among creatures you control, and put any number of creature cards from your hand onto the battlefield just randomly. And then Benny Brax, Zoologist.
Yep.
Those are our card draws. Pretty typical, even though some of them have been reskinned in Lord of the Rings, which is good.
There's a Well of Lost Dreams as well, which I'm gonna take a moment to point out. It's an artifact for 4. Whenever you gain life, you can pay X, where X is less than
or
the amount of equal to the amount of life you gain. Draw that many cards. So you sack a food, pay 3, draw 3.
That's pretty good.
Pretty dang good. And the art on this card is so good.
It's got to be Galadriel's mirror, right?
It's so good. No, it's a well in the Shire. It's a Shire. The Shire's all poopy, and look at the edges of around the edge of the well, the walls of the well. Inside the well is the way the Shire used to be.
I'm reading the flavor text. This was Frodo and Sam's own country, and they found out now that they cared about it more than any other place in the world. Yeah, that is from the chapter, The Scouring of the Shire. So they must be looking at. Yes.
This is it's an interpretation of what's going on. But
yes.
They're looking into this well, and it shows the bright skies and the sun, and everybody's happy. But outside of the well, where you're looking at how the Shire used to be, is how the Shire is right now, which is kind of grungy and poopy.
Scoured.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're right.
And I like that.
You're right.
What do we got left, man? What do we got left?
Have we rebuilt?
We're going to rebuild after we have food at Farmer Cotton's house.
Oh, yeah, food at Farmer Cotton's house. Yeah, that's
So let's go to Farmer Cotton's house.
Okay.
Heroic Intervention.
That is all your guys can has indestructible and hexproof.
Clever Concealment.
Oh, they're hiding out at Farmer Cotton's house so they don't get nabbed by the ruffians and thrown in the lockhouse or whatever. Yeah,
you got it.
It's got Convoke, and that's good because we got guys to tap to pay for it. Any number of non-land permies you control phase out.
So you can tap your tokens to save your non-tokens.
I like this.
They all come back. I dig that. And Tef's Protection.
Teffer's Protection, a.k.a. Farmer Cotton's Protection, Pitchforks and Torques.
That's right.
Pitchforks and Torques.
Yep.
Sure.
You stand by what you said. Food.
Yeah, we're going to eat.
First thing, Maria Doc Brandy Buck.
Mary Doc Brandy Butt.
Yep. Maria Cock Brandy Butt. Yes.
Got there.
Welcome to the nation.
2/2 for 2. So he's a bear, in addition to being a brandy buck. But whenever one or more halflings you control attack, you make a food.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And it's attack a player. So if you attack 3 players, you make 3 food.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And if you attack a planeswalker, you make no food.
Correct.
Okay. That's far different than how I read it, but we got there.
We did.
Yep.
Revive the Shire.
Hey, this is its own section.
Yes, it is.
Revive the Shire. A sorcery, return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand, create a food token. That's for green 1. That isn't bad.
That's fine.
One.
That's not too bad.
Green 1, you make a food. This might be the card that goes into my lands deck.
Sure.
Because it costs 2, and it gets me a land, and it gains me life. Good with ad nauseum.
Peregrine Took.
Peregrine Took. Toque. Toque?
He's a 2/3 for 3, one of which is green. If one or more tokens would be created under your control, that many plus 1 food token are created instead.
Oh, that's kind of a food doubler.
Well, it makes a food for any token.
Oh, it's kind of like 1/3 of Academy Manufactor.
Yes.
Which we are playing.
Which we are also playing.
Yes,
We'll get to in a second.
Rosie Cotton of South Lane. That's where the Cottons live, is on South Lane.
Right.
You can imagine where it's situated on a map of Hobbiton.
I would guess south.
Yes. Enters the battlefield, create a food. Whenever you create a food, you put a +1 on target creature you control other than Rosie.
Whenever you create a token. not a food.
Oh, I did it again.
Yeah.
Whenever I create a token, you make somebody else swallow. She's like giving them a back massage or something.
Now you'll notice that it doesn't say one or more. So if I make 10 food, that's 10 tokens, 10 counters.
Yeah.
So if I create Farmer Cotton for 10,
somebody's getting swallowed.
Somebody's getting fucking beat to death. To death, Ryan.
Somebody's getting clubbed in the head with the back end of Farmer Cotton's frickin'
with his peg leg. I don't know if he has a peg leg, but I mean, who knows? Old war wounds, right?
Yeah, I suppose.
Holy Treebeard, gracious host.
Trample Ward 205 for 4. Oh, how we doing so far? Frick. When Treebeard, gracious host enters the battlefield, create 2 foods, so maybe more.
Sure.
Okay. Whenever you gain life, put that many +1 counters on target halfling or tree folk.
Neat.
Whenever we gain life, put that many.
Yep.
Wait a second.
That's right.
Whoa.
Yeah. That's real good.
Beaten to death.
To death.
To death.
We were talking earlier about how our creatures are all little 1/1s and 2/2s, but
not anymore.
Not anymore, they're not.
Not when you take away their houses.
We have the best tireless provisioner art.
I like this one.
Of the I think 3 arts.
Yep.
This is easily the best one.
3/2 for 3 landfall. You get a treasure or a food.
Correct.
That's good in both regards. We like either of those things are good.
Yes, they are. Of herbs and stewed rabbit.
Oh, a saga. Okay. Chapter 1. Put a +1 counter on up to 1 target creature you control. Create a food.
Neat.
Draw a card. Create a food is Chapter 2.
Double neat.
And Chapter 3. Create a 1/1 white halfling creature token for each food you control.
Neat.
Probably several.
Yes. There will
Probably
be
several.
foods.
I frickin' like this deck. I like every Lord of the Rings deck I've looked at so far.
When I read this morning, I liked it. And as we're talking about it, I'm liking it more, both because I'm seeing little interactions I didn't see the first time, and because of how excited you are about it.
How much life you think you block with? How much life you think you have with this deck?
Several.
Like enough to block with your life total?
Enough that you could probably have Bilbo in here and it would be really good. But you can't.
Damn it.
But you can't.
Dang it.
Alas. But I like this saga specifically because you can play it like the turn before or 2 turns before Farmer Maggot or Farmer Cotton.
Yeah.
And then just ball out of control because you're going to make lots of halflings.
Did we get a Farmer Maggot?
Yes. But I don't think he's the right colors to be in this deck. I think he has black in him as well.
I think so. Didn't we get like a big fat hobbit that eats like devours food? Did we talk about that guy?
He's not in here.
Oh, come on.
Big-footed hobbit or whatever. Yeah, fuck that guy. We don't need him.
Samwise Gamgee. Is somebody that we do need. A 2/2 for white-green. So he's a bear already. Hobbit peasant. Not for long, though. He becomes the mayor. Whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, create a food token.
Boom.
Whenever another non-token creature. God dang.
That's fine.
That's fine, yeah. Sacrifice 3 foods. Return target historic card from your graveyard to your hand. Like, I don't know, your of herbs and stewed rabbit.
Yep. Or
your Farmer Cotton.
Your party tree.
Yes.
This deck needs a party tree.
I want a party tree. The party tree gets cut down. We'll see if we rebuild it, though.
I'd rebuild
It's one of the saddest parts in the book. We get another Samwise, though. We talked about him a little bit yesterday.
Sure did.
He partners with Frodo, whom we can't play. But at the beginning of combat on your turn, you create a food. So that's good.
Yep.
And also, activated abilities of food you control got 1 less.
That's pretty. So now it's only 1 tap sack to activate a food.
Oh, I bet you can go frickin' infinite pretty easy.
You go ball sack ham. Let me critique this card specifically a little bit. Sure. I hate his face.
Oh yeah.
I hate his face in this card. I don't know why. I do not like it. I do not like that picture. I just don't. That's a personal thing. I know. I don't like it.
I like the way that they depicted the hobbits, or like whatever style guide they gave the artists collectively. I like in that they made them look. I don't know what that style is, but
they look like hobbits. It's pastoral, is what that's the art style. It's a pastoral style of art. But I don't I just don't like his face.
I'm going to look into that so I can articulate how I feel about that better.
Excellent.
Last card in the set.
Academy Manufacturer.
We talked about it already. You make
a
clues
food,
and foods and tokens.
Clues, food, treasure. Whenever you make a clue or a food or a treasure, you get all three.
Yeah.
Fucking a beating is what that card is. Very good.
Now, the opposite of a beating.
Opposite of a beating?
Rebuilding.
Oh, rebuilding. Okay.
Rebuilding. This is the happy end.
Okay.
This is the happy end. You know what? Okay, before we get to the happy end, I got a bone to pick with Watsy here.
Oh.
Brendan's wringing his hands.
I am so ready for this.
Lubing up his ear holes.
Let's do it.
So they spend all this money.
They do.
And
don't even get Smaug.
We don't even get Smaug. They didn't give us any opportunity to see real pieces of... When I say real pieces, what I mean is physical pieces of art. Every art in this set is digital.
Even the sagas?
Every frickin' one is digital. It was part of the contract.
Yeah, that makes... Yep.
Okay, so...
Yep. They didn't spend enough money to get physical art.
That's fine, and I don't mind that. But it is, I think, a little bit quicker, thereby a little bit cheaper, maybe, to commission different versions of the same card with different art. And they did it with Warhammer.
Yeah.
Why couldn't they give us different versions of Sol Ring?
They did.
Not in the precons.
There's just one. There's a precon Sol Ring.
So I got to play a frickin' Sauron holding the One Ring in my Hobbit deck? Come on.
I agree.
Come on. And if I don't do that, then I'm playing the elf one, which...
is money.
Or the human one.
Money.
Or the dwarf one.
Money.
None of those are hobbits.
Correct.
And put whichever one, put the bad guy Sauron one in the bad guy deck.
Yep.
That makes sense.
This is the Sauron.
Give me a Hobbit one, and I'm not giving any direction as to what ring I think it should be. Should it be the One Ring? Should it be
do it.
Should it be Frodo holding the Sol Ring?
We're not saying here's what you should have. It's a missed opportunity that was 100% again. Swing and a flavor miss. We've seen them do it better already. They should have continued doing it, and we're going to see them do it better again when they do Doctor Who.
Oh,
why
shots called?
They're doing it. 100% they will. Why didn't they do it here? I don't know, and they should have.
There you go.
They definitely should have, and we could probably come up with some really cool arts they could have used.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
For Galadriel, for this deck, for all those...
Galadriel holding up her ring.
Because she has a ring.
Because she has a ring.
Yep.
Secret's out. Elrond's ring would have been another one. Or Gandalf's ring, because they did a Simic Gandalf, and they're all in that deck.
Yep.
They all have rings.
Yep. Could have had all three of them looking at their rings, looking all sad.
That there is a picture of that though. The Rings of Bright Hearth box topper already has that.
Okay.
But you're not wrong. They have that art.
Yeah, there's the art.
We could have had Frodo with the ring on.
Yep.
Right, sitting on top of the seat of seeing in Amon Hen or somewhere, right?
Or just leaving the Shire with the ring on his neck. Him and Sam walking out of the Shire. And they could have used the flavor text. If I take one more step, this is the furthest away from home I've ever been. That
Yes.
would have been a tremendous thing.
How different does the story get when Sam says that every single step of the journey?
It loses meaning and becomes a very
poignant meme.
What's the card everybody hates? Do you pay the one? Ristic Study.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's Ristic Study.
Yes.
Goes from one of the best
Ristic Study Secret Lair.
Oh.
If I take one more step. But do you pay the one?
Oh. Goes from one of the most bestest lines in the whole story to
Sam is literally paying one more step every time. Sam always pays the one. Be like Sam.
Be like
everybody.
Sam. Pay
That's
the one.
That's the frickin' secret lair we need.
There it is.
We need it, Watsy. We're getting the Lord of the Rings secret lair. We already know.
Oh, and who specific? Let's do it now. Let's do it after the bonus show.
We called it.
Yeah,
we both did.
Who's specifically getting it though? Ooh.
Well, probably Aaron Carr. That's whose house it's specifically going to.
Yeah, and then it will be specifically
whoever owns the Airbnb in Las Vegas. That might be where it goes.
Who's going to pick it up? Who's going to open it?
I don't know.
Who's going to be really happy that it came out? It's the first secret lair that's just for him. The answer is you. The answer is you.
No.
And I'm happy for you.
No.
Just because I'm right, I'm not gloating here. I'm saying I'm happy that one of these finally came out that is for you.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you.
I'm happy too.
That's great. Last 2 cards in the thing, Rebuilding the Shire, Essence Warden.
It gains a life whenever a creature enters the battlefield. Very good.
And very apropos for the last card in the deck, I believe, Prosperous Innkeeper.
Prosperous Innkeeper enters the battlefield, create a treasure token, and whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. It's a 1/1 halfling citizen for green 1.
This is from Dungeons and Dragons.
Huh?
This is a Dungeons and Dragons card.
Really?
100% it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe it is.
Yes, it is. It has to be.
I think that you're right.
I think it is. I would click on it and tell you, but there's no functionality for that in this website.
No.
The shots fired, I guess. I don't know. But
well,
the point is, cool. Shit. This is even better because it's a crossover from my favorite crossover set into yours.
Oh, yeah. Different art, though. That's
Yes.
why I didn't recognize it.
Yes, yes. 100% different art. Because they all got different art, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Which I'm a big fan of. So that's the deck. It's
Loved it.
It's clear we are both big fans of it. I'll bet you this is a flavorful deck if you like Lord of the Rings.
Yes, and I do.
It's an affordable deck for the most part.
The token doublers and the meats back on the menu, and I don't think you need the meats back on the menu section.
I don't either, unless you want to go infinite, and you don't have to.
Yeah, okay, Phyrexian Altar, Kirkland Ironworks, Food Chain, all between $24 and $30. Ashnod's Altar 8, we could immediately cut nearly $100 right there.
Yeah.
The deck total, as is right now, is $637. If you cut the doublers,
You could cut virtually all of Second Breakfast also, and not really. This one is skewed. We're using an original Ravnica doubling season, which is more money, and we're using a foil Mondrak, which again, more money. Also foil Second Harvest, but it's $8.
Yeah.
So whatever. But you could probably do without Parallel Lives and Doubling Season and Anointed Possession and probably Mondrak. You could probably cut those and be just fine.
you could find things that make copies or do the thing that you want to do, just do it a little bit harder.
Yeah.
Though it isn't doubling. And be probably fine and be right around the $300 mark, and 100 of that would be the pre-con itself.
And you could probably also up your flavor count if you wanted to. Again, the deck has tons of flavor. I will not critique that in any way. But you could probably increase the flavorness if you wanted to with different cards.
You got to get a Barleyman Butterbur or whatever. He's a food guy that's in the colors, right? And it's a Lord of the Rings card. You could do. I was thinking the Soul Sister package. You could do that, and we're already playing that Essence Warden.
Yeah, Essence, we can get a Soul Warden. You could get a Ashiok Champion or Oriok Champion, whatever the hell that thing is.
Oriok Champion.
That's the one. You could do all those things.
Yep.
This is where you could make the cut and put your Chroma's Memorial in.
Oh, yep.
Right, if you wanted to just beat wholesale ass and make all the Tolkien people cry.
Yes.
How many people who are after the One of One Ring do you think just dropped dead when I hit Shane's box with a meat cleaver?
Oh, I thought of that.
Oh man! As I was doing it, I was like, "Oh man, I'm murdering somebody right now. This is crazy." But the point is, this deck is awesome, and thank you so much for sending it in,
Colton. That is Jenny McCarthy's brother.
We appreciate you and the deck. Keep them coming. I think we're probably going to do some more Lord of the Rings stuff. You know what? Hell with it. We're going to do Lord of the Rings shit as long as you keep sending it in until Commander Masters starts getting spoiled.
Let's do it. Give me some advisor trouble. Let's do Mouth of Sauron, Demir Mill Advisors. Oh, frick.
Yes, that'd be good.
My pants just ripped off the front of me.
Let's do Orcs and Goblins. Let's do all that shit.
Let's do bad guys.
Yeah, let's do
bad
all of it.
Guys.
Build Ryan's deck for him.
Yes.
There we go.
Do my work for me.
Yeah. Why not? Hey, I've gotten the nation to do that a bunch of times, and lots of those decks are still together.
Oh, yeah?
So
screw those people. Probably made me lose.
Yes, they certainly have, and they made me win, which is great. And I feel like everybody else has won because they get to go to FusionGamingOnline.com, use CCO Summer Special promo code, save 5% off all their super cool food and friends stuff, and also magic cards, which is great. And We win because we get to be here with you, and you get to win because you're going to listen to us on the very next episode of Commander Cookout Podcast. Hit our theme song!